my last final video for the year, and I'm actually super excited because I'm not going to worry about it anymore. This isn't an I told you so video. It has very little to do with that. I'm not going to say nothing to do with that because I've been talking about this for a really long time, but I just want to let everybody know, just in case you haven't put the math together. This coronavirus thing, it doesn't add up. That's all I'm going to say. The numbers, they just don't add up. It just doesn't make any sense. I've talked about this. I've posted it. It doesn't matter who you believe. The facts literally just don't add up. Meaning the facts that we get from China, supposedly, the facts that we get from the US, supposedly, they just don't add up. And then you put the media into it and it's just a total cesspool of just garbage. But what I did want to talk about was our wonderful Federal Reserve. Yeah, the Federal Reserve, which has nothing to do with the government, is basically a private bank that is controlled by the secret combinations, which I've talked about multiple times. They have just now spent trillions of dollars to bail out the criminal Wall Street bankers and tycoons and corporations after they bought back their own stock and made themselves rich. Now they can't obviously compete in the marketplace because there isn't a marketplace. It's completely propped up by low interest rates by the Federal Reserve. The marketplace is so artificial. I mean, this was bound to happen. You can blame it on whatever, but this would have happened eventually whether the coronavirus came about or not. So this is what we get for basically allowing a private bank to set interest rates and a president that doesn't have integrity. And that's the other thing I just don't understand. You Trumpers, I'm all about giving Trump, see, this is what happens when I can't put a word together. I'm all about giving him accolades when he's doing good, but the fact of the matter is he's just not acting with integrity. I mean, he knows all this stuff's going on. He bailed out he let basically the Federal Reserve bail out, with the help of the Treasury Department, all these corrupt corporate executives and all the millions of dollars where they bought back their own stock. It just doesn't make sense. So we get, on average, and I've actually really done research on this, it's about $2,900 for the average family that we're going to be getting, our little welfare checks, just for them to show us a small sign of their appreciation and how much they love us, and they give us a little pat on the back. But if you were to actually take all the money that they're spending for the bailout and divide it up per person not in Utah, but the whole country, discounting children under the age of probably 12, it would be $58,000 a person. But they're going to give us $2,900 because we're so important. They just know how important we are to the real economy, like they say all the time. It's the small businesses and the farmers. No, it's corporate executives and Wall Street. So where is all the other money going? If we're getting $2,900 and yet we would have gotten $58,000 per person, not per family, per person. Just do the math. That means that, once again, the criminals on Wall Street and the corrupt bankers that are completely and totally void of any values, of any ethics and morals, it's come on, can't we just be honest? Can't we just look at the facts and go, okay, hey, like, this is legit. This is actually what's going on. Forget about what you actually believe. I know a lot of you Trumpers believe that Trump would never do us wrong. He's just a total poster child of integrity and commitment and courage. But you can't ignore the numbers. And the other thing you can't ignore is now the Federal Reserve has secret meetings. Yeah, we don't even know what they're talking about now. All their meetings are secret, but it's for our own good. Just keep telling yourself that. It's for our own good. And also, all the trillions of dollars that they're printing out, they've actually made an agreement with the Treasury, U.S. Treasury Department, that the U.S. Treasury will actually backstop. Basically, U.S. Treasury will be held responsible for the trillions of dollars that a private bank makes out of nothing. So a private bank that has nothing to do with America, that is controlled by the secret combinations, the Rothschilds, Carnegies, Vanderbilts. I've talked about this. I've talked about None Dare Call It Conspiracy, the book that Ezra Taft Benson told us to read, but we won't read. This private bank is now going to just print money out of thin air, which was never existed. They just created it out of thin air. That's a really hard job. I just push a little key on a keyboard and put a little digital note in someone's bank account. That's a really tough job. They do that, but guess who actually has to back all that up? The Treasury Department. And you know what that means, right? If you actually have a brain and you know how that actually works. The Treasury Department, basically their backup is us. Who else backs up the money? Where do they? It's tax money that they get their funds from. Well, supposedly, that's why we have trillions of dollars of debt, because there's not even enough taxes to pay off the debt. We're in that much trouble. But no, the Federal Reserve will print out as much as they want, and then the U.S. Treasury Department will be on the hook for it, which means the American people will be on the hook for it, and we will just clamor for our little welfare check and tell everybody just what a great job Donald Trump is doing. Yeah, he's totally committed to the average American. The right thing to do, and I could fix this problem in like 5 minutes, and so could just an average Joe that has any common sense. All you do is you say, okay, this is now the amount that basically gold is worth, or silver, both. You just set a dollar amount. This is how much gold and silver are worth right now. You let the economy go through a deflationary period where bad characters like Jamie Dimon and all these other Wall Street bankers, they all either go to prison for their actions or they end up on the streets. They have to find another job. Guess what? Who pays the lobbyists now? That all these Wall Street tycoons, they're not going to have the money anymore. Because guess what? Now that America's in a deflation, hence depression, the American people might actually just wake up and go, you know what? They stole all this money from us. Yeah, last time we bailed them out, and what did they do? They propped up their books, made billions of dollars, took all the profits, and now guess what? Now they don't have the money to survive. And who's going to bail them out again? So we get the corporate debts, but they get all the profits. It's called a scam, okay? So this is the last time I'm going to talk about it. I'm exhausted talking about it. Americans don't want to wake up. They actually think their government cares about them. It's not that Trump is necessarily completely evil, but he's not honest. I mean, can't we just be like open and honest and call a spade a spade? I mean, come on, seriously. He's there to bail out the corporations. Whether he believes that they can keep America vital and growing, it doesn't really matter. The true America has always been based off of the individual, the families, the community. We don't need these Wall Street executives. I know you think that we do, but we actually don't. We would be just fine without them. Actually, we would be more than just fine. We'd be more free, more prosperous. Now, not right off the bat. We've got to take our little bitter pill, and we don't want to do that. So give us our little welfare check, pat us on the back, Trump, and tell us everything's going to be okay. And we'll continue to say that you're cleaning house right up there. You're going to get rid of all those nefarious characters in the swamp. I don't see much of a difference between Nancy Pelosi and Trump or any of the other characters, to be honest with you. Mitt Romney, the whole bunch of them. I'm sorry. It's really, really pathetic. We just need to go back off of principles and follow the Constitution, where real money actually was backed by something. It was called gold and silver. What we have right now is not money. It's just a fiat currency. You can make it and destroy it anytime you want. Right now, they're just deciding to just print it into oblivion. So if you actually think that the Federal Reserve, which has nothing to do with the federal government and Trump and the Wall Street crony capitalists actually care about you, I'm sure there's another planet that you could go on. I don't know what it would be called, but you could just make it up, because that's just fantasy. That's just crazy. So unfortunately, that's where we're at right now. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I've talked about chemtrails and how they're manipulating it. I know it just sounds so crazy, but you won't read. This is legit. This is legit. The IMF, which is run by these global secret conspirators, and this is legit if you would just read. Trump knows about it. Don't think he doesn't. I guess he just thinks he can win at their game and you're not going to win. Unfortunately, we're going to go down the road where all of our freedoms are getting stripped, and it's happening state by state. Mandatory stay in your house. You can now get fined. There's certain countries where you can go to jail for being outside. This is the road that we're heading down. And by the way, when they pay us our little welfare checks, now they're going to set it up with a digital wallet. See, they're going to get rid of cash eventually, and they're going to control our currency. They're going to spy on us through the Patriot Act, right, which they created during 9/11 so they could spy on all of us and take away habeas corpus. Obama did that. Now we don't even really truly have the right to a trial. We don't. Obama took that away, and so did, oh yeah, that's right, Senator Hatch of Utah. I thought he was going to make everything great again. Nope. And I'm sorry to be so sarcastic, but we got to wake up. We really do. We just should vote for people that have principles and forget about the fact that their families were from pioneer heritage, or they've been in Utah for I don't know how long, and they smile and they, seem like they're really, really nice. Yeah, Trump seems like he's really, really nice. Obama seems like he's really, really nice. So does Bush and Clinton. But they're not nice. If you just look at their actions, man, the fruit's pretty rotten. You know what I mean? And the fruit doesn't fall very far from the tree. This is where we're going, people. And I'm not making any more videos because I'm done. The chemtrails are real. Geoengineering is real. These conspiracy bankers, they're actually real. And especially for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you need to wake up. You really, really do. You think that these people that give you a little wink, wink, and shake your hand and whisper sweet nothings in your ear, that they're like legitimate, that they're virtuous and good. Just look at their actions and stop believing the media garbage. Just, are they promoting freedom and liberty, or are they enslaving us? And that is financially, mentally, physically. They're going down the whole route. The judicial system's been totally corrupted. If you would just read and undare call it conspiracy, it would connect all the dots for you. But most of you, unfortunately, and I'm just telling you from history, from past experience, most of you will not read it. You won't read it because you're too busy putting out all the fires. You have no time to ask, who's lighting these fires? No, let's not ask about who's lighting these fires. Let's just spend all of our time every day just putting out the fires and asking, who's got an extinguisher? Who's got water? We got to do this now. Extreme measures for an extreme situation. Okay. Look where we're going to go. And by the way, we still haven't even hit the death count worldwide that Americans died from the flu in 2017, 2018. This is what I'm talking about. The numbers don't add up. So you can believe all the hype that Trump really cares, and so does these CDC. The CDC, I could spend hours on the CDC, the Council on Foreign Relations, the UN, all created and propped up by the global bankers. But they sound like they really care about us. Wait until forced vaccinations come. But you know what? We've got to force everybody to take them because we're all going to die if we don't. This is how it is. Panic and hysteria. Fire, fire, fire. Squirrel, squirrel. No more videos from me. I'm done. I've got to move on with my life. You're either going to read that specific book that literally an apostle at the time said over the pulpit, or you're just going to ignore it and continue just to make up your own theories. This is not a theory that I'm talking about. This is actually going on. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's actually backed up by fact and eyewitnesses. And then if it is a conspiracy, then the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is a conspiracy. The Book of Mormon is a conspiracy. Ezra Taft Benson's a conspirator, and so am I. We're all conspirators. We just like to make this stuff up. Yep, this all just happens by chance, all of this. Yeah, there's no orchestration, no design or plan. Keep telling yourself that. I really hope that we pray and humble ourselves. I'm serious. I'm serious. And just say the truth. Who cares what other people think? I don't care anymore what people think. I just don't have time to constantly nurture people and wipe their bottoms and put their little bibs on. We've got to grow up like adults and put our big boy pants on. I'm serious. All right. Peace and prosperity through our little welfare checks. I'd like to end it on a good note, but literally I can't. It's just such. I can't even think of one right now. Come on, just one. Now, we have our family. We're grateful for that. But what about our children? I mean, serious. You want them to grow up in a world where it's just total slavery? I don't. And I'm willing to tell you the truth. I stopped caring what other people said about me a long time ago. Well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Oh, so I am. I'm a conspiracy theorist because what? I disagree with the garbage and the propaganda that the government and the media constantly push down my throat, and I actually do my own research. Yeah, that's what a conspiracy theorist is. Guess what? I am one.